Well, what you see is actually a government school which has been converted into a relief camp that is home now to several of those who have been rendered homeless. Because we are talking of at least around 600 who were stranded and have been brought to this relief camp. And just like this relief camp, you have 5 other relief camps in and around here in this region. And we are talking of several of those families who are left stranded, mainly because of these landslides. What you see behind me are volunteers who have come in from different pockets of Kerala to try and see how they could extend their help. There is one division right behind where the medical supplies are being given there. And this division, which is involved in the food section here. And you have several of these people who are lodged in different rooms and can also rest here in this particular pocket here. So that's the kind of situation that you see as far as the relief and rescue efforts are concerned. More and more would be landing as and when the rescue efforts are done. In fact, what you see on the other end is also the security arrangements that are in place, because anytime now, Mr. Rahul Gandhi is also scheduled to arrive to look at the relief measures that are being offered here. One interesting person was a volunteer who I met at the medical department there, who also happens to be one of the survivors of the flash floods that occurred some time ago. And she is here to volunteer once again. And let me see before that if I could get some of the case studies here who could perhaps speak with us. Let me see if I can come over to the other side to give you a picture of what exactly transpired during those landslides there. Excuse me, ma'am. Very sorry to disturb ippa, but yaar anga missing ippa.
ഉമ്മയും ജ്യേഷ്ഠത്തിയൊക്കെയാണ്. അവർ 7 ആൾ മിസ്സായില്ല, 2 ആളെ കിട്ടി, ഇനി 5 ആളെ കിട്ടാനുണ്ട്.
Extremely distressed there because they are recounting the horror and are unable to really speak to us in terms of those who are missing. Several of those loss of lives that is extremely painful and immeasurable there. In fact, recounting the loss of lives, people are here suffering, crying. Every tear that is being shed there in terms of telling us, narrating to us how painful the exact tragedy has been. And one can really fathom the kind of stories, untold stories here with respect to this. In fact, one of the families was telling me that we are living a life of uncertainty. We do not know when we will be going back to our home, whether our home is really there or not. Will we really get back to normalcy? Will we lead a normal life like we were leading all this while? These are some of the questions for which there are absolutely no answers now, and it is definitely going to take quite a few days as well as months before normalcy returns in this region. And until then, this is definitely going to be one of the most unforgettable tragedies that occurred in one of the most beautiful locales called Wayanad. Back to you.
Right, Pratibha, also give us a sense of, how many people are there at rescue and relief camps across these 2 key districts that have been the worst hit within Wayanad. And, in terms of just the number of roads that have been washed away, what is the situation as far as connectivity is concerned to people who are still living in far-flung villages? Are they getting essential supplies? Have communication lines, for instance, been restored, or do several people still remain completely cut off? Do you have any more information on that?
Well, to give you the answer to the first question, there are around 600 people who are lodged here. And as far as the food counter is concerned, 1,000 plates that are being served at every given point in time with respect to the meals there. Breakfast, lunch, as well as dinner that is being organized with respect to all these volunteers who are working relentlessly for the relief and rescue efforts. But as far as the roads there are concerned, several villages have been inundated. We are talking of of a place called Mundakai, where the entire place has been isolated because one of the key bridges that becomes the link between Mundakai as well as Chural Mala has collapsed because of the landslides, and that is the epicenter of the landslide, and because of which most of these families have been left stranded, isolated, and there is absolutely no way to reach out to them. There were ropeways that were used to try and see if they could reach out to those people, and today what we hear is that a makeshift bridge is also being constructed there so that there could be movement of JCBs as well as other equipment so that we could move through those boulders and remove the silt as well and try and see if we can find more bodies that could be recovered. In fact, one of them here who is unable to speak about her loss. உங்க கஷ்டம் என்னால புரிஞ்சுக்கவே முடியாது. பட் அங்க என்ன நடந்துச்சு அதை பத்தி கொஞ்சம் பேச முடியுமா?
ദയവ് ചെയ്ത് ക്ലാസ് റൂമിൽ തന്നെ ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കേണ്ടതും അല്ലാത്തവർ ഓഫീസ് റൂമിനടുത്തേക്ക് എത്തിച്ചേരേണ്ടതുമാണെന്ന്
സഹോദരങ്ങളെല്ലാവരും പോയി.
ക്ലാസ് റൂമിന്റെ
7 പേര് പോയി.
ചുമതല ലഭ്യമായിട്ടുള്ള SPC ഉദ്യോഗസ്ഥർ എത്രയും പെട്ടെന്ന് അവിടെ തന്നെ നിൽക്കുകയും
நீங்க என்ன வேலை பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கீங்க?
ഒരു ചുമതലയും കിട്ടാത്തവർ ഓഫീസ് റൂമിനടുത്തേക്ക്
അവിടെ തന്നെ ഞാൻ മലപ്പുറമാണ്.
நீங்க எப்படி அங்க இருந்து தப்பிச்சு வந்தீங்க? அங்க மாடியில இருந்தீங்களா?
ഞങ്ങളിത് അറിഞ്ഞിട്ട് വന്നതാണ് രാത്രി. അവരൊക്കെ രക്ഷപ്പെടാൻ നോക്കിയിരിക്കുന്നു, പക്ഷെ കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ടില്ല. 3 വീടിലുണ്ടായി, 3 ഫാമിലി, അവർ 3 ഫാമിലിയും പോയി.
She's a mother who has lost several children there, and she is talking about how she's been left all alone here because a family of 7 that we are talking of, and all of them washed away. She is left here all alone. One cannot really begin to explain the kind of tragic stories that we hear from people all around who are rendered homeless now. And it is quite saddening. While the relief and rescue efforts are on, there is also a political blame game that is happening on the other end.